statements?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a statement, to make a comment on the request for statement on the conflict or clashes between the Kuria and the Maa communities along the border of Migori and Narok counties. Mr. Speaker, this is a statement that has been sought today by my colleague, Senator Eddie Okech, and it touches on the interests of a very small community, but also mirrors certain activities that impact on the life of a community. In this case, Mr. Speaker, the Kuria community. The Kuria in North Ntimaru, Mr. Speaker, have been unable to peaceably live in their land. The land they call the land of their ancestors, Mr. Speaker, because of sporadic conflicts and invasion from the Maa community, Mr. Speaker. It is important, Mr. Speaker, that this is brought to the attention of the relevant committee, and I'm glad, Mr. Speaker, that you referred this statement to the Security Committee that shall deal with it. This, Mr. Speaker, has affected the lives of women. And, Mr. Speaker, I recall in December, Senator Eddie Okech had to take food to the area of Timbaru to leverage on the food shortages and on the inability, Mr. Speaker, of women and men to farm and feed their families. It is sad, Mr. Speaker, that a community as small as the Kuria community can go through attacks. And, Mr. Speaker, in Angata Barikoi in Narok County, you will be surprised, Mr. Speaker, that even when these communities try to farm, they are unable to, because their crop is either harvested before it is ripe or destroyed, or cows simply put into the fields, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, conflicts, and this is instructive because conflicts, for instance, between neighboring communities should be resolved. Where neighboring communities live, Mr. Speaker, and their conflicts, there must be a solution, because it is these conflicts that spread and eventually become bigger, and people are unable to live in peace. Mr. Speaker, I pray that this statement be taken seriously, and I thank Senator Eddie for bringing this statement to the House so that we can investigate and call the security apparatus within this region. And, Mr. Speaker, where there is need, or where there may be need, we may have, Mr. Speaker, as a security committee, and I'm glad my colleague, Mr. Sifuna, sits in that committee, to summon, Mr. Speaker, the county officers in charge of security in that region to explain whether it is due to complacence on the part of officers that these clashes have continued on and that communities have continued to suffer, or if there's need, Mr. Speaker, to transfer officers or have a station in these places so that we do not have these conflicts continue. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.